Mastering. The final frontier. The last step. The step that is final. Mastering. Mastering, the final frontier. What should you be doing before you master your music though? Honestly, I've tried looking and there is just way too much information out there. So I'm gonna clear this up now. These are 6 things you need to know before mastering your music. And let me tell you, number 6 is really gonna change the way you prepare your mixes. Let's get in it. Thing number 1, hard truth coming at you. Make sure your mix is good. Easier said than done, I know, but mastering isn't gonna fix any major mix problems your music might have. It's meant to set the sonic landscape that your music lives in and makes sure it translates across multiple playback systems. Your guitars are probably too loud. Anthony? Fix it in the mix. Remember, your mastering engineer is only gonna have one stereo file to work with. If they try to turn down the guitars with an EQ, that might have an effect on other aspects of your music. Not sure if your mix is done? Compare it to a professional mix in the same style. What I like to do sometimes is I'll actually import a professional song into my session, turn the volume down so it matches my mix, and just kind of A/B them back and forth to see where's the vocal sitting, what are the drums doing, to see where I'm at. Automated mastering is a good way to get an idea of how a mastering engineer would approach it. Or even better, get in touch with an engineer to get some quick feedback on your mix. Thing number 2, do not leave a limiter on your master bus. If you're mixing with a limiter on your master bus to see how your mix reacts to limiting, that's perfectly fine. You can even send both mixes to your mastering engineer, one with a limiter and one without. That way, they'll get a better idea of your vision for the song. But the mastering engineer definitely needs the one without the limiter on it. The hard truth is, limiting is an incredibly violent process. Ow! Did I shoot one at the camera? Any decisions made after limiting will have a lot more collateral damage. If an engineer has to make a simple EQ move on a track that's already been limited, that move might have an effect in unexpected ways. So much so that it might not even be worth making that change at all. It's like carrying around a glass that's filled to the brim with red wine. Sure, you have a glass full of red wine, but every step you take comes with the risk of spilling everywhere. Spills that stain. Stains that won't come out. Stains that get you uninvited from the monthly wine and cheese party, even though that rug wasn't even that nice to begin with. So, yeah, probably not worth it. Thing number 3.
Check your low end.
Low end frequencies are a killer when it comes to maintaining a healthy amount of headroom in a mix. Him in the back of the head. They'll eat up most of it and you'll lose out on loudness in the mastering process. You don't want that. Low end can be hard to hear when you're mixing. Be sure to check it with a good pair of headphones and use a spectrum analyzer. See, this is what a good balance looks like. And this is one with way too much low end. If you're listening on earbuds or speakers, you may not hear the drastic difference between the two, but those subfrequencies will add up and affect the limiter. To reduce the low-end energy across your mix, high pass the tracks that are taking up a lot of low-end energy but don't need it. Things like guitars, vocals, and some drums. Get rid of it. Removing the low-end frequencies from those tracks will help you attain a well-balanced mix and help your bass instruments stand out. Thing number 4. I mentioned it earlier, but headroom. It is essential that you leave your mastering engineer with enough headroom to work with during the mastering process. And don't even think about slamming it with a limiter and then normalizing it down. See this? No. Getting a decent amount of headroom starts with gain staging. You'll want to gain stage any signal coming into your DAW before you start mixing. This means setting input levels appropriately and managing the level of any added samples. Gain staging will help you avoid slamming into plugins that are modeled after analog gear and are prone to unwanted distortion. To really dig into gain staging, check out this video here. -6 dBFS on the master bus has long been the golden rule for headroom, but there's more flexibility than people think. If you've got peaks coming in at around -2 or 3, you're still good to go. Thing number 5. This is a quick one. Keep your mix down at its original sample rate. If you're working at 96 kilohertz, keep it at 96. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, check out this article on sample rates. It's important to think about your output before starting your session. If you've recorded at 44.1, don't export at 96. It won't change the quality of your audio. As a general rule, it's easy to keep it at 24 or 32 bits. If you need a 16-bit 44.1 kilohertz file for CDs or for distributors, then keep it at 24 or 32 and let the mastering engineer take care of it. Thing number 6. Now, I mentioned at the start of this video that this tip will change the way you prepare your mixes. This tip is actually a bundle of mini tips. Fingertips. I made it creepier, is that what you wanted? They're essential housekeeping techniques that could save you money in the long run. You might be doing all of these things already, but let's go through them just in case. Thing number A, listen to the vocal track isolated for any clicks or pops and chop out any silence in between words while using proper fading. If there are any clicks or pops in the mastering stage, the mastering engineer might be able to remove them, but might also charge you extra. Okay, number B. If you're editing between two parts, use crossfading. Crossfading will minimize any clicks during the transition of two parts. Number C. Listen to all of your tracks in isolation. Listen for clicks, pops, and any noise. Hear that? Silence, other than the air conditioner. Number D. Chop up tracks that don't need to be there. That guitar that doesn't play during the verse but is still there, chop it up, get rid of it. That may be contributing to the headroom. Remember, mastering is going to increase the level, clarity, and brightness of your mix. Any pops, clicks, or noise that you forgot to remove during your mix is going to be exaggerated in the mastering process. Who wants that sticking out? Unless you're a noise band, that's cool. And that's it for today. I hope you found this helpful. If you have any other tips for preparing your mix for mastering, share them in the comments below. Thanks for watching. See you next time. You're great. Love you forever. Bye. Fingertips. That's the one. Print it. Nailed it. I'm gonna make it in this world. I'm gonna be a star. You'll see. Just wait. Great. That's the correct answer. What does he win? Okay. Oh! Once again, that was Splurter Flurgaderder.